Welcome to the 3x5 news, reviews, and views scribbled on index cards. No SportLight today. JD will be back for the next show. This one is short and hard-hitting. It's raining cats and dogs. I watched the CNN clip the other day where J.D. Vance continued to double down on the dogs and cats story. He said, quote, "If I have to create stories so that the American media actually pays attention to the suffering of the American people, then that's what I'm going to do," end quote. On the split screen, you could see CNN anchor Dana Bash, who co-hosted the Biden-Trump debate, thinking, "Is he really saying what I think he's saying?" Of course, she challenged him on it. I guess now they are admitting they can just make stuff up. It's as if they assume fellow Republicans have some internal compass that allows them to divine the truth no matter what the words are. Also, it's an admission by Vance of the extent to which he and the Republicans will go in service to the notion that the means justify the end. Meanwhile, Trump exposed himself to further ridicule when he doubled down on dogs and cats by saying, "They're taking the geese." But that was nothing compared to when, the other day, he posted on Truth Social that he hated a certain someone. You think you have seen it all with him, but when he said that, I was blindsided. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Yes, that would make most of those expecting to vote for him uncomfortable. That is, if they followed politics or aren't even aware that he said it. In the whole 21st century, has there been a world leader who would say such a thing? All I can think of is Rodrigo Duterte, the drug dealer killer who served more or less concurrently with Trump's term as the president of the Philippines. Between Trump and Vance, it seemed like the Republicans have crossed yet another red line on the road to tyranny. There aren't many left. Wait, why is red the Republican color? Trump's use of terms like communist left rhetoric has to be confusing to his supporters. He has a soft spot for Putin, but wait, isn't Russia the birthplace of communism? Doesn't Putin seem to revere Stalin? Weren't we in a Cold War against the communist Soviet Union for decades, for better or worse? But to Trump, I guess communism has migrated from Russia to the U.S. Makes it that much easier for him to continue to pursue his man crush on Putin. Hey, maybe it's time to give the Secret Service a break. Between the two recent attempts on Trump's life, we keep hearing that Secret Service, whatever its sins, is overstretched. With that in mind, you would think a presidential candidate would take that into consideration and forego playing 18 holes of course, especially on short notice. But considerate is an adjective that would never be applied to Trump. A candidate who cared about anyone but himself would confine himself to a driving range for the duration of the campaign. Denial is a river in Tennessee. The New York Times reported recently, quote, "A poll months ago found that 60% of likely Republican primary voters wanted a presidential candidate who would not comment on January 6th at all, rather than another supporting or criticizing the rioters. Oh, I get it. They seem to vote on the basis of, la 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 la, I can't hear you. Denial, thy name is Republican." When slow walking becomes crawling. I hate to pile on Merrick Garland, but let's. From the Times, quote, "By delaying any investigation or prosecution of Trump until almost 2 years after he became Attorney General, Garland hamstrung Jack Smith, the dogged and beleaguered special counsel, leaving little time for the predictable unpredictabilities," that's pretty good, predictable unpredictabilities, delays and appeals, that is, "of two high-stakes prosecutions," unquote. I mean, come on, 4 years on and nothing? What's with that guy? conservatism as a phase. Growing up around them, conservatives, and surrounded by them for years afterward, I instinctively get where they are coming from. Besides, I once experienced the type of reactions that congeal into conservatism. In fact, I still do occasionally. Fortunately, I recognize our first emotional responses are very rarely the truth. Anyway, at age 15, it dawned on me that I had to stop being so selfish and start learning how to act magnanimous, even if I didn't necessarily feel that way. My point is that experiencing fear and hatred is normal, but basing your worldview on these feelings is abnormal and evidence that your emotional growth has become stunted. However, nothing embodies conservatism, especially the MAGA variety, more than a lack of self-knowledge or even an awareness that mental health is a thing and can be attained through therapy. The tragedy is just at the point their personalities are ready to take shape, their character development freezes and they become hardened, fixed in amber. Quote of the week from a New York Times piece titled "Putin is Getting Rattled," Serge Sheeman wrote, quote, "The depth of the disaster precipitated by Russia's war is revealed by the intensity of the effort. The euphemisms, insinuations, scapegoats, and excuses marshal toward propaganda. Finally, remember, today is only yesterday's tomorrow."